really grateful for the opportunity to share this journey with you and to inspire others to embrace and celebrate the beauty of hand waving and sustainable clothing production. This is my
Thank,
little story.
thank you very much. Um, they just informed me that we have a problem with the sound.
From my side, you
Yes,
cannot hear
from your
now.
side. Yes, I don't know why they cannot hear you, but
Okay.
let me see. Just a moment. Yorgo, can you hear Mrs. Penelope? Miss Penelope. I was confused with the name. Mrs.
Everyone.
Merope to talking. Is it
I
okay with
I
you?
can hear her, but very, quietly. I can hear you, for example, more
Uh-huh.
loud. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
louder.
Okay. Okay. But we have it, we record this session, so we
Yeah.
are going to have also this session in our YouTube channel or our Facebook live sessions. And also because it is recorded, we are going to have it also in in the Facebook as a video. So we are going to share everything with the audience. Yorgo, do you want to start a little bit with the questions that we have prepared with for Mrs. Merope?
Yes, of course. Thank you. Miss Meropi, I found very interesting your explanation in a nutshell how you transformed and you became an entrepreneur yourself. My first question is about Penelope Loom's philosophy and vision generally. For example, your whole inspiration, because I see also the connection of in the name Penelope Loom. It regards what can be made on the loom. So, my first question is about your general philosophy as an entrepreneur right now.
Uh, okay, now can you hear me a little better?
Yeah, as far as it concerns us here in the meeting, we can hear you perfectly. I don't know if there is anything with the Facebook live session that causes a problem with the sound, but in any case, we are recording currently this meeting and it will be available later on, so you can continue. There's no worries.
Okay, thank you very much. I have to say that Penelope is the name from a great poet from ancient Greece at Colomiros. There is an ancient Greek history behind this name, a beautiful history. Everyone knows it and universal. I took the name from there. There was a woman that she was waving and unwrap her textile, and she was waiting for her husband. Just two words about her, but all the story behind has many symbolism about women, and I'm threading on my loom all the stories around the women that they are waving, because I believe that not only in Greece but all over the world, people are used to make their clothes, their textiles, and this is a heritage that I have now in my hands. So it is an ode to those women and to men, of course, because also men used to wave. And this is about the name that I believe it's very important. And I have to say that Pini in the ancient Greek means thread, and Lopi means wrap. The name is, it means uh, wrap the thread. So it's a historical name, and it has a simulation with my name. It's funny because my name is Merope. So the philosophy of the brand is straightforward and clear. I'm here to establish a sustainable brand with zero waste hand-woven textiles. I'm striving to produce beautiful creations with high aesthetics combined with functionality, ensuring that every product tells a meaningful story. I'm dedicated to using eco-friendly materials and techniques that I gained from women older than me, of course. My commitment to the environment extends to sourcing raw materials like Greek wool, Greek silk from local producers. This is not only supports quality, but also local communities, as I'm traveling around to Greece to find them. And the philosophy is to tell people that we have to stop use fast fashion and to go to the sustainable, of course, fashion. And I'm trying too much my products to be friendly from the environment.
Perfect. Ms. Merope, very inspiring. The whole story also behind the name of Penelope Loom. I thought about it that the name Penelope would come from the Odyssey, perhaps, but I wanted your confirmation, and it was very inspiring. And regarding also your corporate social responsibility, I will come back to that in a few moments, because I also found it really interesting about how you're striving to transform the whole fashion industry into more sustainable by your vision and with Penelope Loom. What I would like to ask you before coming back to that is about an artist right now, because we, during the Cultural Footprint Project, we have supported many young and emerging artists that also want to be established in a more entrepreneurial way, that they want, for example, to make a transition just like you did and establish their own brand and, not only make a living from their art, but also do it in a way that they will offer something to the community the way that you do. So my question is, how can an artist make this transition to artpreneurship, like we call it? And what would you advise young artists, for example, to take care of when making this transition, when being an entrepreneur themselves?
Yes, of course. I love to advise, and I love to give tips. I love to give my experience to artists, to new entrepreneurs, and because I want everybody to work and to feel beautiful, great about the things they do, and of course to make the living from that. My advice is to start. It's very simple. Everyone that is coming to my studio, I always say, just do it. Just make the step, start, and you will find the way. When you work, you always open the channels to find the way to make a business that you can make the living, as I said. So of course there are some specific tips that I can say, and I don't know if you can see my presentation. I have it also there. That, for example, the artistic vision. It's very important for an artist to define the artistic needs, to understand what makes their art unique. Of course, there are other tips to go to the entrepreneur world, to make a business plan. I believe it's very important. Is a roadmap for success. Of course, you cannot do it alone, but you can have a help or someone that knows about those things. Something else I can say that it is understand the market, and ensure that they can meet the demands of their audience. Building a brand, of course, and for me, building a strong brand that echoes the artistic mood and the artistic identity and values is very important, because it is the identity to come to meet the market. Of course, the online presence, it's very important because we're very lucky to have internet, and we can sell everywhere, whatever we want in the world. And networking, resilience, and effective promotion, there are some things that I believe they can help them. And the most important, I believe, is to balance the passion they have for their creativity, their art, with the entrepreneurial skills. Because I believe if you want to sell something, everyone knows how to sell somehow. So you have to contact with those skills, grow them, and to make a balance with your art. So with dedication and adaptability, it can lead to remarkable success for me.
I totally agree, and thank you very much for this input, because it actually confirms also our vision as part of the Cultural Footprint project, because you mentioned in the beginning of your answer to this question the importance of having an artistic identity, like meaning knowing who you are as an artist and what makes you unique to establish that in the market as well. And this is also important. And I do agree also with the fact that you mentioned about balance, about how important it is for an artist to have balance in order to also be established in the entrepreneurial world, because also this was a very important part of the Cultural Footprint project training materials, how we can introduce the artists to the basic entrepreneurial knowledge by not taking away from them their creativity, how we can balance that by showing them, for example, how they can develop a business model or a business plan, as you mentioned, because it is very important, of course, in order to have a roadmap for your business. It is important that you have like your model and your plan, but it is also important, as you mentioned, to have a balance in that. So I do agree that this is a very important piece of advice, so that young artists that want to be entrepreneurs need to always have their vision on their creativity part, but also having in mind that in order to be established in the market, they also need to have some basic knowledge, at least in the market, and then network and find their collaborators and their partners that will help them bring their vision to life. And regarding your vision again, and your journey and your path, I would like to also come back to what you said about the sustainability and everything. And that is because I would like to ask you and address the challenges that Penelope Loom and other entrepreneurs just like you that want to make the fashion industry more sustainable, what are the challenges that you face? Because in my opinion, as I can see that myself, is that you have like very much competition, because fast fashion is like the fashion industry is a very competitive industry right now. And how can an entrepreneur that wants to promote sustainability in fashion, how they can overcome this competition right now? So regarding this and the general current challenges, what are the current challenges that the textile sector, Penelope Loom, for example, may face, and how do you believe you and we can overcome them?
Yes, okay. Thank you for the question, because it's the key here. When you become an entrepreneur, of course, you have challenges, and you have competition. Those things, but they make you better, a better entrepreneur, a better artist, because the key is to find ways to be unique. This is the first thing that I can say about that question. The thing is that the greatest challenge I have to face is that Penelope company is confronted with the textile industry, as I said, with fast fashion and generally in the textile industry. I find a way to be unique as I take the wool from the producers, that all this wool goes to the garbage, and it is a very serious problem for the environment. So I take the wool, I make the cycle of wool, and I made it as a thread to put it in my products. So many kilos in Penelope Loom are become products, and they're not going to the garbage. This is already a unique process that I'm doing in Greece with two other women. Not many people doing that. Of course, you can understand that not everyone can do that, but I was finding, I have found this from a research and from searching. I didn't start Penelope, and at the first day I did this process with the wool. After 1 year and a half, I found out, and this made me to gain the Green Brand Award, the gold category from 2023, and between very big companies in fashion. So if you are trying something and work on it, you will have a success, I believe. And this is how I found those things. But except that I can find ways to be unique as a designer, and as my products to be unique. I also, the greatest challenge that I find the solution is to educate people to understand what it means sustainability. What is the value of the handmade products? Why they should trying to how can I say? Okay, why they want to buy from me? Of course, from Penelope. So I have the chance to make educational campaigns, and to explain that value of handmade fabrics, and how they differ from the industrial one. I make also through online presence to share with a wide audience. I made promotion of sustainability and personal contact also, to explain to my customers every time how my handmade fabrics are crafted and what makes them unique. I find all those solutions to educate people. For me, this is the most important gap that we have to fill at that time in Greece and all over Europe, I believe.
Perfect. Thank you very much for this input as well. I really find also very inspiring how you also try to focus on the educational aspects of the things that I do agree that this whole matter that we're discussing right now is a matter also of mindset, how the buyers buy, why they want to buy the everything that I want to buy, how they act as consumers. And I do agree that this is a matter also of education, of how we promote sustainability, of how you promote sustainability as a mindset in fashion and generally. But I will continue on that note, because exactly this is a problem of the buyers' mindsets, of how they are let's say, trained to consume and to follow, for example, the norms or the trends. But I would also like to address another challenge that comes to my mind now, and that is, it can only be regarded as external. And I'm referring to the COVID-19 pandemic and the crisis, because as I remember before, you mentioned that you were established and you made the transition in 2020, right? It was just the so this hasn't to do with what
Before the COVID,
prevails.
actually, but before the
Exactly,
COVID.
right before the COVID. And so this challenge is not about what prevails the fashion industry, but it is what externally can happen to like the world and affect us all. So the question here is how you were affected, like in your actual beginning, by the pandemic, and how you managed to overcome the crisis, and you have actually remained resilient and sustainable.
That's true, and it's a little bit funny to say at that moment, of course, because it wasn't funny at all. And I started the business, as I said, at February 2020. So at March, we closed, and my studio works also as an exhibition that people can come and see all the process, and also as a retail store. So all my dreams, all my business plan gone away because, as you can understand, all the business model it was about before pandemic. It wasn't like an idea at all. But that let's say problem didn't stop me. The first thing I did it was to change once again the business plan. It was very important to see how I have to handle the financial about the company that was about to start. So once more, I have to say that the business plan is very important because you can see in your paper step by step what you're going to do, of course. And as I found the way how to handle the financials, because everything has changed, I decided to close myself in the studio and start producing designs and products with the goal of being ready for when we could reopen. I also worked very hard with less people that could help me. For example, I designed on my own my website. I had time, of course. I had time, so I decided to do many things on my own. because I didn't have also money, of course. And I took a very good decision. The first business plan, it was about to make a big entrance in, for example, Facebook, Instagram, and those platforms. I decided that I didn't want to create a strong online presence at the time, as people had little energy to support something new. However, I worked on my online presence, and I was prepared once again for when we returned it to normal. And that period, I found about wool that I said to work with. So my first strategic move was to collaborate when we reopened with a major clothing brand in the same city that I am in Thessaloniki, which had a strong global presence. So I saved time, and it was a big collaboration. And in 1 month, everyone knew about Penelope, the products, the collaboration. And then I make my plan step by step again. Today, I believe that it's the proof that really hard work, persistence, and above all, the love for what we want and we can do definitely can lead us to our true goals and aspirations. I believe dedication to the goal is the key.
I totally agree. And I would like also to highlight what you first emphasized on about the adaptability, because what we also, as part of the project, tried to narrow down, and also during our a series of webinars that we organized and implemented, and we closed like a few days ago. What we also highlighted during these training sessions was exactly this one, that it is a matter of adaptability. And for example, the business plan must be adjusted and adapted to every external crisis that comes. It's something like a one-time thing. It's a process that keeps evolving and evolving, and it adapts to anything that comes internally or externally. That's exactly why we also analyze our threats and our opportunities. And I think it is very, again, inspiring how you managed to adapt, because it was like a very big crisis that affected all and the whole entrepreneurial world. And especially for a startup, a business that have just started its journey, it's very important how you manage to like adapt your plan, your business plan, and focus on how you would like to move forward, especially when we came back to normality. Alexandra, I don't know, do we have some more time? Because if yes, I can make one.
Of course, we have
question.
time. Of course, we have time.
Okay, so perhaps I could place another question, because also Mrs. Meropi, I found very interesting what you mentioned in the beginning of our session about the inspiration behind the name of Penelope Loom, and how you actually pay tribute also to women. And I also found this really important, especially in our days right now, and how important it is also not to only maintain environmental responsibility, but to focus on all aspects of what we call CSR, corporate social responsibility. And I would like here to emphasize on the social responsibility as well. How important do you regard social responsibility? And in this case, for example, regarding the support of women, and empowerment of women, and generally gender empowerment, and how perhaps Penelope does, also place a focus on that.
Yes, thank you for this question. It's very important for this company in my vision, because I do workshops for women, and of course for men, but women are more, they like it more, of course, the waving art. So it is one of my vision to reinvent the waving art again, and the women can do it as a work and make their own money. I said before about the name, because at that time in ancient Greek, Penelope, even as she was a princess, she couldn't have speech. She couldn't say no to the other kings. Even she was a princess, I said again. So her textile that she was waving it and unwaving it, it was a way to protest. That's why I said that there are beautiful symbolisms around this story. I believe that in many countries at that time, women they cannot they cannot speak, they cannot have words to say to the men, and all this year the art that they are made by hands, it was their weapon to tell a story, to tell something beautiful, not only painful stories, of course, because you can see many beautiful waving arts in museums that are marvelous. So women has the need to tell many stories, and they did it with waving art. With Penelope, with this company, I'm trying to do the same thing and tell women that we have the power to make our own business, of course, to create beautiful art, beautiful products, to be independent. And sometimes we don't have to speak. We really don't have to speak. We only have to do things. So Penelope, with Penelope, we do those workshops for that reason. And I can tell that my audience love all this way, because I also connect the international language on my waving art through my products. For example, I have products that they are inspired from Japan, that they also make beautiful waving products. So I can speak international language for women with my products through Penelope.
Very important again. Thank you very much for that, because that's exactly what I was hoping that you would address, because even right now in 2023, we're still witnessing gender-based bias and discrimination, and it's very important that you also want to make a change on this matter as well. Especially within your workshops. I do find this very fascinating and socially responsible. And I also would like to address the fact that you mentioned right in your beginning of your answer here, you're also your attention also to maintaining gender balance as well, because you said that your workshops are also open for men, regardless the fact that men, for example, might not be that much interested in this form of art. And perhaps this is like I think that we should address about educational aspects and mindsets again, that perhaps it is about time that women, not only they are empowered, but they also speak their voices and also do whatever they want, and they enter the business world with confidence, just like you did, but also that men aren't just that they won't care about that much about art or textile, that this is not a matter of gender. It isn't a matter of we should base this on gender. It's a form of art and expression, and that perhaps some things on our mindsets should at last change. And it is very important that you also place an attention that on your workshops about being open for all. So as far as it concerns me, I like very much our conversation. I congratulate you for your inspiring journey, because this session, I believe it was a great start for our Facebook Live sessions as part of the project, and it was very inspiring. And I have no more questions. I give the floor to my colleague Alexandra, and you, of course, perhaps if you want to have any closing remarks. Thank you very much, Mrs. Meropi.
I would like to ask if the partners wants to ask something to our speaker, and if not, I would like to congratulate you for this effort and inspiration you have from the CSR till the empowerment of women through different aspects of your work, as well as the open education that you are a supporter of it. So I would like to ask you, what are some tips that you can give to the very young artists in the field of art in order to become more successful, or if worth to enter the entrepreneurial area, independently if it is too hard or not?
Okay, as we can understand, of course, success we cannot make it in one day. But as I said, if you really, really love and you are committed to your art, it's a one-way road. Whatever you do with other jobs, maybe, your heart, your mind, your energy will always be to create your art. I will tell it in a romantic way, to really, really listen to that voice, because if you don't listen from the start, one day you're really going to do it. I believe in that energy, and it's better to make this energy knowledge about the entrepreneur world, and not to go other works to live with and everything. I believe that the first thing an artist that can take is to make some skills, as I said, about the entrepreneurial world. It's very important. It is a difficult world from the artist so that they have in their mind. It's not very romantic, of course, but it's necessarily. And as we said earlier, it will become a balance between this passion and how to do it. It's very important to learn about the steps on how to do an entrepreneurial work. I can say that in those days it's easy, because on internet you can find everything. You can search many things. For example, I was searching about 3 years before I start. And patience, it is the key. You don't have to be hurry for anything. If something is going to happen, it's really going to happen. But as Picasso said, inspiration does exist, but it has to find you working. So for me, the most important 3 words that my father told me, and he was a lawyer, he wasn't an artist, but I kept those 3 words. It was the words for success are 3. It is a work, and work. If you work in your art, or if you work to make a research of, or if you work to find skills about the entrepreneurial journey, it is a work. You have to trust it and to grow it. The other things, they will come. This is a romantic opinion from me.
Okay, it's interesting. It's interesting. Okay, I don't have other questions because I think that you have covered everything, but I would like if you want to share a little bit the presentation that you have prepared for us to show some piece of your art. Can I share it?
Yes, of course. And there are some tips about the last question. Very specific, I mean, like artistic vision, we said earlier, market insight. There are in the presentation. So if anyone can show them, they are very helpful about this journey.
Mm-hmm. So I have shared my screen. I think that you can see it.
Yes,
No?
we can. Yeah.
I
Okay.
cannot.
Okay, maybe I can do it one more time just to be sure because it's what about now?
Again, I can see it.
But Mrs. Meropinot.
No, I cannot. But it's okay. I know the presentation.
Okay, I'm moving to the second page of the presentation.
Okay, just a moment to open it
Mm-hmm.
from my,
Of course.
computer. So if you want something to tell about, to be ready. Um, a few seconds, please. Okay, sometimes I have also my problems with
Yes.
the computer. Today it's not the day that
But I'm
collaborate.
showing a little bit the presentation where we can see you, for example,
Mhm.
that you have won the Green Brand Award, the gold category, and about the sustainable green Greek brand. I'm showing some photos, how the procedures that you follow, and what kind of tools you use in order to create all these art pieces. Um, as you can see here, we can see like a bag from sustainable materials and with different patterns and colors, and a rag, of course, which is made from a recyclable cotton.
Exactly. I collaborate very often with large design offices, and I do make custom works. It's something I love it, of course, because collaborations are beautiful always. The other is from there are products that I have designed them.
Mm-hmm. And this one is very beautiful, like the hand woven art wall, known as as Minotaurus that you have designed.
Thank you very much. That was the first wall art I make, and people from the first company that I mentioned that I collaborated,
Mm-hmm.
this great fashion brand, they bought it.
Oh, and like
Yes,
back again.
this, I'm sorry, it has Japanese patterns inside this Minotaurus.
Ah, up the rug, you mean?
Yes,
Mm-hmm. It's very interesting, and it's very beautiful, beautiful hanging them in the on the wall on the bags.
thank you very much. As I said, when I was traveling in Europe and I was find that waving art was all over big companies like Dior. It was also in big museums around Europe. So many art wall there are now in museums in Europe. So I was inspiring from them
So while you are talking,
and
I'm going
from
to
all over
the all over the slides. And now I'm in the slide that you just mentioned that the art plus entrepreneur, the artpreneur. So you have here some words and some phrases to inspire maybe the young artists, as I can understand, like artistic vision, business blueprint, market insight, brand building, online presence, legal shield, pricing precision, effective promotion, networking, and resilience.
Yes, exactly. I believe those are the 10 words that, okay, if someone asked me in 10 words to tell the tips for success and for this entrepreneur journey, there are those words that include inside almost, of course, all the journey that an artist through those knowledge and through those skills can become an entrepreneur.
Perfect. And of course, here we have something that you wrote, like wave your passion into everything you do. Stay committed to sustainability. Let your art tell a meaningful story that bridges the past and the future.
That's the vision.
That's the vision.
That's a story.
Okay, and here we have your contact details, so maybe someone can contact you or can search about your work in your social media channels, your website,
Mhm.
and so on. So nice. Thank you very much for sharing this presentation. I think that maybe we can share this presentation with the partners of this consortium and to have it or to
Yes.
our possible maybe people that we are going to have for coaching sessions in the next months to be inspired, and if they are oriented to your specific sector of art, maybe they can you can come in touch with them and
Mhm.
see about collaborations or about, I don't know, advices, because you are a really you are a success story, especially when when I heard that you opened this brand actually before the COVID starts. I was, and when I saw that you won the award, I was like, really now? It was a difficult situation, I think. But as you said, work, and work can bring you a little bit closer to the success for your sector, and closer to the to have this to build a brand that you're going to have good collaborations abroad and in local and regional level. So I don't have other questions to do. And I would like to thank you for this conversation that we had. And I hope that we are going to have more conversations and also in other topics oriented to your specific art art sector. Also, one thing that I would like to say is that we are going to have this recording available to reshare it if you want in the different channels that the project usually use, because as you understood, we face some problems with the Facebook Live. So I'm
Yes.
going to make it live, but in another way, just because we had to be in the same place, and I was the only one that the audience could hear, unfortunately, because you had many things to say. But I'm going to share it, and you can share it through your social media channels also. There is no copyright, there is nothing that, so you can share it. So if you want to say something as closing remarks before I stop the recording of this nice interview that we just had.
Of course, I want to thank you very, very much. I'm really, really and deeply grateful for this opportunity to share my journey with you and to inspire, of course, others to embrace and celebrate the beauty of hand weaving and sustainable clothing production. It was very important for me, and I'm deeply grateful. Thank you very, very much, all of you.
Thank you too for being here and for answering to all these questions. And I'm looking forward for further sessions like this and advices like this and examples, of course, for the young artists, because they need to be inspired from other success stories and to make their dream come true. So I would like to thank you all, and we are going to close this session, and we are going to have our next um, interview, our next session next Monday. From now on, every Monday, we are going to have sessions like this with entrepreneurs in order to discuss and to give advices to the young people, especially when recovery needs to be done after the COVID-19 situation. So thank you very much once again.
Thank you.